Hello, and welcome to Sonata She Wrote. In this video, I'll be discussing the 12th song in D. Schöne Müllerin, Pause. The song is, quite literally, a pause in the narrative flow of the cycle. The young Miller questions whether he can go on writing, or in the case of the song, singing. Susan Youens, our guide through the cycle, writes that Pause is a sophisticated paradox, a poem crafted from the inability, actually the refusal, to write new poems and sing new songs. Because the poet cannot bear to hear the truth that is the only possible subject of those songs.
Ich kann nicht mehr singen, mein Herz ist zu voll. Weiß nicht, wie ich's in Reime zwingen soll.
There's something very unique about Schubert's use of B-flat major. Every time he uses this key, it seems to be a musical representation of youthful naivete. And with that naivete, a refusal, even an inability, to face one's own flaws. We saw this in his first piano trio, D898, which I've analyzed on this channel, but you can also see it in his most famous piano sonata, D960. The primary theme of this sonata, similarly to the young Miller's song in Pause, plays out over a pedal. After its first iteration, this unsettling trill in G-flat, deep in the guts of the piano's register, comes to the foreground. All is not as quaint as it seems. Just as in Schubert's final piano sonata, however, tonal disruptions are in store for Pause as well.
Meine Sehnsucht allerheißesten Schmerz durf ich aushauchen in Liederscherz. Und wie ich klagte, so süß und fein, glaubt ich doch mein Leiden wenn nicht klein. Ei, wie groß ist wohl meines Glückes Last, dass kein Klang auf Erden es in sich fasst, dass kein Klang auf Erden es in sich fasst. Nun, liebe Laute, ruh an dem Nagel hier und weht ein Lüftchen über die Saiten dir und streift deine Biene mit ihren Flügeln dich, da wird mir so bange, und es durchschauert mich.
Dipping briefly into G minor, the Miller discusses not actual sorrow, but imagined sorrow. The Miller remembers a time when he could express himself through song, as in the previous frantic energy of mine. Back in B-flat major, the original sound of flowing tears, first in G minor here, is transformed into major. The Miller's happiness is so great that no song or poem can express it. And he certainly sounds happy to me. He bids the lute to stay on the wall, but if a string were to sound from a breeze or a bug, he would simply shudder in fear. Although in the poem, there is no lapse in time between this line and the next, Schubert inserts a foray into A-flat major, totally unprepared and not actually cadencing. It seems to comment both on the Miller's deluded sense of happiness and also foreshadow a grim event. The green ribbon on the lute is hanging far too low.
Und es durchschauerte mich. Warum ließ ich das Band auch hängen so lang? Oft fliegt's die Saiten mit seufzendem Klang. Ist es der Nachklang meiner Liebespein? Soll es das Vorspiel neuer Lieder sein? Ist es der Nachklang meiner Liebespein? Soll es das Vorspiel neuer Lieder sein?
But the Miller wrenches himself out of this confrontation. Will he ever sing again? No time for that now. My naivete is much more comfortable, and the lute figuration in the piano, expressing neither joy or sadness, returns. I hope you enjoyed this guide through Pause, the 12th song in Die Schöne Müllerin. The songs only get darker from here, I'm afraid. The next song, lucky number 13, is Mit dem grünen Lautenbande, or With the Lute Screen Ribbon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and please leave a comment to let me know what you think, or if you have a fun fact about the cycle for me. I always enjoy them. If you'd like to support the channel more, consider joining the Patreon for any amount.